Hi, welcome to Off the Shelf with Christine and Friends. May is Get Caught Reading Month, and that makes it the perfect opportunity to look at some of the most anticipated book releases for this summer. These are those books that you want to be caught reading at the beach or around town. Now, while no one can actually predict which titles are going to be runaway hits, all of these titles have actually been getting quite a bit of buzz and praise, and in some cases have been read and recommended by our fellow librarians here. So we hope that you enjoy these titles and have some that you can add to your TBR list for this upcoming summer. Be sure to let us know in the comments below if there are any other titles that you just can't wait to read this summer. If you want to be notified of future videos, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit that link below. But now it's time to get to those books, and we're going to start off with some recent May releases. First up, we have We Burned So Bright by T.J. Klune. And in this poignant apocalyptic novel, the world is ending in 30 days because a wandering black hole is on a collision course with Earth. We follow two elderly husbands venturing on a road trip during these end times to carry out something very important to them. Now, this is one that I can't wait to read, especially since my fellow colleagues here at the library have recommended it. So it looks like a good one there. Then we have June Baby by Shannon Garvey. Now, this is a debut novel, and it follows Ruth over the course of one transformative summer as she decides whether to remain anchored to her past and her grief, or to rewrite her story for the future. And this is a contemporary fiction for those who like that. Then we have The Lost Book of Lancelot by John Glynn. And this is a fantasy historical reimagining of the Arthurian legend, and it follows that famous knight Lancelot from his vulnerable childhood days as an orphan being raised by the Lady of the Lake to his legendary days at the Round Table. Perfect for our fantasy fans as well. Then we have Artifacts, which is by Natalie Lemley. And this is a mystery debut novel that follows Lena, a successful trusts and estates attorney who is forced to confront her past when she takes on a high stakes antiquities reparation case. Then we also have The Midnight Train by Matt Haig. Now, this is the author of The Midnight Library, and he's back with another middle of the night titled book. But this one is about a train that has the power to take you back to relive, but not change your past. That in mind, what moment in your life would you go to? Interesting question. Then for our fans, we have Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. And this is a slow burn, friends to lovers romance. And it follows Frankie, a former sous chef who is left at the altar by her fiance. Now, months later, her lifelong best friend George convinces her to go on a trip to heal her broken heart. Will sparks fly? We'll see. Then we have The Calamity Club by Catherine Stockett. Now, this is from the author of The Help, and we have yet another novel set down south. This one is 1933, Oxford, Mississippi, during the Great Depression, and the story follows three women who are on the margins of society and their lives intersect at a local orphanage. They form an unlikely sisterhood and devise a plan to launch a controversial business, a hidden brothel that caters to the University of Mississippi students. Interesting. A little bit of a historical fiction pick there. Next, we have The Last Contract of Isako by Fonda Lee. Now, this is a dystopian sci-fi corporate noir novel, and it follows a battle-worn 50-year-old corporate samurai who's on their lethal final mission. Now here's another sci-fi one for those fans, and this is The Parade of Horribles by Matt Dinniman. It is the eighth book in the best-selling lit RPG science fiction series, Dungeon Crawler Carl. And the novel follows the ongoing survival game of human crawler Carl and his ex girlfriend's hyper intelligent talking cat, Princess Donut, after an alien invasion. These books can take you on a wild ride. I highly recommend the audio as well as the book. I am loving it. I cannot wait to read this book. Um, they're just so much fun. And like I said, the audio is absolutely amazing. Now, following along a fun kind of ride, we have Villa Coco by Andrew Sean Greer. And this is where a directionless 21-year-old American archivist moves to Tuscany to catalog a wealthy 92-year-old baroness's estate. But instead of like some organized work, he's doing bizarre errands while helping her track down her lost love. And this novel blends a little bit of light comedy with a poignant coming of age story. I can't wait to read that one myself. Now, for our horror fans, we have a recommendation from Ebony, who here at the library loves her horror genre, and it is called Teddy Bears Never Die by Yi-Un Cho. Love the cover, by the way, first off. And this is where a young woman and a possessed teddy bear set out on revenge quests unlike any other in this stylish slasher. Now, this author is a rising star in Korean horror. So if that's your genre, give it a whirl. Alrighty, let's get set for some of those new releases. So, starting out in June, one of the first ones is Whistler by Anne Patchett. Now, in this novel, 53-year-old Daphne runs into her former stepfather, Eddie, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which sparks a very profound reunion. This chance encounter reconnection story is perfect for fans of The Correspondent. So, great one to get if you have read that book or haven't yet had a chance to read it. Next up, we have Land, a novel by Maggie O'Farrell. Now, we've mentioned this soaring historical novel set in Ireland before and during the Great Hunger, but we just keep hearing so much about it and a lot of praise. We just wanted to mention it again for those historical fiction fans. And then we have The Children by Melissa Albert. Now, in this one, the estranged adult children of a legendary author written into their dead mother's beloved fantasy series contend with the vine-like creep of legacy, memory of magic. Now, this book is fantasy, gothic, horror, fairy tale combination. All these are right up my alley. I really can't wait for this one to come out. Following up with another one for our fantasy lovers is The Unicorn Hunters by Catherine Arden. And in a desperate attempt to save her throne, a young monarch conceals a secret marriage in the shadows of an enchanted forest. However, unknowingly, this alters the fate of her world. Then, one of my favorite authors, she does wonderful family sagas, historical fiction. I always learn so much whenever I read one of her books. We have Daughters of the Sun and Moon by Lisa C. In this story of three Chinese women whose unexpected friendship helps them survive, despite the odds, they thrive in the turmoil of post Civil War Los Angeles. Now, this is both a time frame and a place that I don't see too much of in historic fiction, so I'm really interested to see what she brings out in this novel. Finally, we have The Shampoo Effect. This is by Jenny Jackson. I just think that title is just a lot of fun. And she tells the tale of a tight knit millennial social circle in a Massachusetts coastal town whose decades old dynamic is upended by a newcomer, an unexpected pregnancy, and long held secrets. That one sounds like it's a perfect summer read. You know, we have Coastal Town, we have Hidden Secrets, always great. Then we have Marion by Leigh Rowan. And this is a reimagining of the movie Psycho, where Marion fights back and actually kills Norman during the shower scene, thereby becoming both a thief and a killer on the run. Great for all of our horror fans. Then we have The Someday Garden by Ashley Poston. And this is a magical romance novel about Sophie, who is a woman grieving the loss of her best friend, who takes a job as head gardener of Lilymore House. Now, while she's there, she discovers a hidden shifting door that kind of disappears and moves around that leads to a secret garden with a mysterious man trapped inside. So, for our fantasy romance people, there's one to give a chance at. And lastly, we have Heather by Caitlin Mullen. Now, this is by an Edgar Award winning author. And it's where a detective reopens a very cool case about twin sisters who vanished in 1994, thereby uncovering dark secrets in the Pine Barrens. I love local books. The set in the Pine Barrens always has that aura of mystery and secrets and disappearances. So, very eager to see this one as well. Moving right along, we come to our July releases, and we're going to start off with Habits of the Sea by Shay Earnshaw. And in this, a woman rediscovers a mysterious disappearing island that she visited one night as a child. She finds that the island's lone inhabitant, Clay, hasn't aged a day since she first met him. So now she needs to choose between a life on the island and her real life. So this one's great for some of our fantasy romance fans. Next up, we have Cool Machine. And now this is by Colson Whitehead, and it is an exuberantly entertaining novel that brings to life the 1980s New York Harlem in the magnificent final volume of the Harlem trilogy. It's a wonderful historic fiction. I know lots of fans of this trilogy. Can't wait for this one to come out. Next, we have Meet Me in Paris by Kristen Harmel. And this novel follows 9 Americans whose lives intertwine over the course of one transformative spring week in the City of Light. Now, it's a contemporary fiction. It does take place in modern day, but a lot of the backstories go back as far as World War II. And so it's got a little bit of a saga element with it as well. Should be interesting. Then next up, we have City of Widows by Nadia Hashimi. Now, this is a saga that follows the lives of several Afghan women. We have, including a soldier, we have a combat force leader, and a journalist, to name a couple. As the 2021 U.S. troop withdrawal plunges Kabul back under Taliban rule, these women must choose between fleeing, fighting, or forging a dangerous new path to survive. This is a contemporary historical fiction for those fans of that. Then we have The Romance Revival by Christina Lauren. Now, this is a second chance romance tale about Emery, a biomedical scientist, and her husband, Luca. After Luca dies in a tragic accident, a desperate Emery uses her experimental, top secret research to bring him back to life, which results in amnesia and a unique do over at their marriage, because this amnesia does affect his life. He does not remember his marriage or ever meeting Emery. So that's a little fantasy romance there, kind of unique. Then we have The Exquisite Torment of Loving Your Enemy by Brigitte Knightley. This romantic fantasy continues the story of assassin Osric and healer Aurine as their forbidden love deepens amidst a deadly plague. Now, this is the second book in the Dearly Beloved duology. Finally, we have Fabulous by Chuck Tingle. Now, this is where a fashion influencer turned grave robber must survive a wild night in Palm Springs when her latest corpse, a rock star icon, unexpectedly comes back to life. And for our last month, those hot dog days of summer in August, we have the following releases, starting with one that I can't wait to read, a series I'm following. And this one is Adversary to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. Now, in this novel, Evie Sage finds herself unexpectedly chosen by the villain's magic to counter a deadly prophecy. This is the 4th book in the Assistant to the Villain Romance to See series, and it's just a fun fun read. Then we have The Unknown by Riley Sager. So in this one, 1926, five women disappeared from a remote island in Vermont. Now, 100 years later, it's happening all over again. Wouldn't be summer without a Sager thriller release. Then we have The Night by Gillian McAllister. And this is an electrifying thriller about three siblings that are torn apart by the cover up of a death while they are on a family vacation in Italy. This thriller mystery is definitely on my radar. It's got Italy, it's got one of my favorite thriller authors in it, and it's got sibling family cover ups. Sounds like a perfect summer read. Then we have very popular author, we have Brain Damage by Frida McFadden. And this psychological thriller is about a successful dermatologist whose perfect life shatters when an assassin shoots her in the head. She has survived with severe brain trauma and memory loss, but she must reconstruct her memory so that she can identify her attacker before he finishes the job, he or she. Then we have The Secrets We Hide by Karen Slaughter. And this story follows Sheriff Emmy Clifton and her sister, who's an ex federal agent, named Judy Archer, as they investigate a brutal home invasion. Now, this is the second installment in the North Falls thriller series. So it is a mystery, it's got some police procedural. I really enjoyed her Will Trent series, so this one sounds like another one that I might need to get behind. Then we have, finally, Take What You Can by Nami Coster. Now, this is a friendship tale where Val and Millie become instant best friends years ago when they were the only Black students on a study abroad trip to France. Now they are in their 30s and they are both expecting baby girls, and they decide to reunite in New York to raise their daughters together. But some class differences and an old rift from that time in Paris threaten their bond. Little contemporary fiction, friendship, sounds like fun for summertime. There you have it. Those are some of our highly anticipated releases for this summer. We hope you enjoyed these picks. Which ones do you think you might add to your TBR? Make a note in the comments below and be sure to let us know of any other titles that are coming out this summer that you can't wait to be caught reading. But until next time, happy reading. Take care.